Hi, on the show this week, I'm taking requests. Hi, welcome back to Robert Farrah's Tea and Tara. I'm back in Berlin. I'm a bit exhausted, but I have the strength to make a little video for you this week. It's that time of the month. I'm going to be doing the request show. I'm just going to narrow it down to one question this week, one detailed reading, and I'm going to be using a spread that I found in this book here, Tarot Beyond the Basics by Anthony Louis. It's actually a book that I'm going to be reviewing rather harshly in a couple of weeks because I didn't like it all that much, but it's okay. And it has information in it, and we all want information. It has a very interesting spread in it called the Tetractys of Pythagoras. Here's the Tetractys of Pythagoras, and we're going to use that as a tarot spread. Okay, well, it's nice today to have rather an interesting question. This has been sent in by an Instagram friend. We'll call him John, and it comes from the States. And this is a very detailed question, but it's actually what I want to demonstrate this Pythagoras spread. John writes, I'm due to speak at a wellness workshop run by a childhood girlfriend. There have been some accusations against a co-speaker. I have politely asked to withdraw because it's distracting and puts me in an awkward position. But I've been asked to give it more thought and time before withdrawing. In my section of the workshop, I'll be talking about not taking on unnecessary drama and living your values. It seems like a bit of hypocrisy to have this person speak right after me. I also don't like the idea of trying to dance around a minefield for someone I wouldn't bother with at all. It's not my place to get involved, but I'm afraid that my piece will seem pointed and rope me into this man's mess. I'm also beginning to realise that the friend who asked me to speak has also been intimate with this other speaker at some point through the years, making this even more awkward. Do I remain in this harem of favours, and is this working relationship an oasis or a mirage? Very nicely put, John. Do I remain in this harem of favours, and is this working relationship an oasis or a mirage? Well, let's see what we can do. We're going to put down 10 cards today, a bigger spread than I normally do, because I want to demonstrate this rather interesting Pythagorean triangle spread. And I'm using this Pam's vintage tarot here. They're really very, very aged, like a pair of pre-aged jeans. They've got so much sort of brown on them. They look like they're 500 years old. And actually, I think this is quite appropriate for this question because everything seems to be a bit murky, doesn't it, John? So let's see what the cards have to say. I'm just going to center myself, take a deep breath, ground myself. 10 cards, please. I shuffle. Okay, John in America with this complicated question about speaking at a wellness workshop. And unusually for the show, I'm going to put the cards down face down. Let me explain to you how this is going to work. Card number 1, the core issue. Card number 2, the influence of the cosmos in this issue, the influence of the universe. Card number 3, the reaction of the cosmos or the universe to the querent's actions, to John's actions, to what John's doing or thinking about this. Here we have past, present, and future influences and circumstances. And here we have the 4 elements. I'm going to divide them up like this: fire, water, air, and earth. So that could also be batons, cups, swords, and Pentacles. So let's take a deep breath and see what's there. The first thing I notice about this reading is that the energy is in the bottom line, the base line here. This is where we find 3 major arcana cards. Now these 4 baseline positions are to do with the elements and the suits. Here we have fire, batons, water, cups, air, swords, earth, pentacles. There are 4 cardinal virtues in the tarot. At least there are 3 and the 4th one's hidden. There's strength, there's justice, there's temperance, and the missing or the hidden prudence. Strength is the cardinal virtue that traditionally applies to fire and to batons. In other words, when you are pursuing your goals and sticking up for your values, you need strength. And here we have strength in the position of fire and batons. Prudence, on the other hand, which is thought to be hidden in the trump of the Hermit. Prudence applies to the suit of Pentacles and the element of earth. When you're sorting your life out, when you're making sure there's enough money, when you're making sure you have a career, when you're making sure that things are sensible and down to earth, you need to be prudent, you need to be wise. And so here we have what could be thought of as the prudence card in the position where it needs to be. So what I'm getting is, and here these 2 cards are right at the base of the pyramid. These 2 cards are John's foundation in this matter. He has the strength to stick up for his values, and he has the common sense to make sure that in this professional engagement, things are as they should be. Now the disturbance here, we've got a fairly strong card here in terms of air, swords, which could be judgment and sorting out right from wrong. That's pretty good. That's a 9. It's a bit of a lonely card, but I think it means that John's got his head screwed on okay. But the disturbance is in water, in cups, in the kingdom of the emotions. And that's because clearly this whole situation is crashing into his relationship he has with this old friend. If we go upwards, so I'm going to go upwards into this pyramid, we see past, present and future. In the present situation, we see 2 people in the snow. We see companionship in times of difficulty, and it seems to me that this friendship with John's childhood girlfriend is at the very heart of this matter. It's a difficult situation. There they are together going through this difficult situation, and the hope is that this friendship can survive. That seems to be very much in the middle of this. Though having said that, we are encouraged to read this card as the core of the issue. And this is the card of generosity. The 5 of Pentacles and the 6 of Pentacles very strongly linked. Clearly, we have hardship and we have generosity, which to some extent is intended to relieve the hardship. And so hanging over the present situation is this desire to be generous, this desire to help the friend. Now, in the past, we have an 8 of Cups, and it's quite clear that John has asked politely to withdraw. And then came the complications. The friend said, no, please don't withdraw. Please stick with me during this difficult time. Give it a bit of more thought, give it a bit more time. So the question is, what's going to happen in the future? Well, it seems to me that here is an 8 of Swords in the future position, and that's not a good situation to be in. You're very restricted and you've got your feet in the mud. It's someone else's mess, isn't it? And there's even a feeling of you're actually sort of slightly becoming an outcast there. So, and as John says, it's what did he say in his message? rope me into someone else's mess. It's not my place to get involved, but I'm afraid my piece will seem pointed and rope me into this man's mess. Well, here we have, you could say ropes, and you could say here, mess. The card is reversed. Does that mean John will refuse this energy? He will refuse to get roped into this man's mess and to take on maybe some of the, well, mud sticks, doesn't it? I don't want to say to take on some of the, any culpability there might be. But, you know, it seems to me that this man's reputation is this man's affair. It's not really John's affair, is it? I see him refusing to get involved there. Now, here are two very mysterious cards in this Pythagorean spread. Card 2 here is the influence of the universe. And card 3 is the reaction of the universe to the querent's actions. So it seems to me that these two cards in the spread are mysterious and karmic forces. They are underlying forces. They're invisible forces. They're, if you like, they're symbolic forces happening beneath this very real world situation. They're rather similar, aren't they? We have the Knight of Cups here, and we have the victorious person in the Six of Batons. One of the strangest and in some ways most challenging and provocative characters in the tarot, because he's lovely, isn't he? We all love the Knight of Cups. We all know that everybody wants to have a lover like that sort of thing. He's the lover of the pack. He's the knight, and he's in the emotional realm, and he's on a gentle horse, and he's offering some kind of cup. But let me tell you something about the Knight of Cups. There is, on some strange and mysterious level, a connection between the Knight of Cups and our old friend, the Death card. They're in the same position. Their horses are doing the same thing. Yolanda M. Robinson is very interesting. She has a book here, Studies on the Mystical Tarot. She's very interesting about the Knight of Cups. And she was the person who's pointed out to me this similarity between the Knight of Cups and Death. And in her system, she says that the Knight of Cups corresponds to the third decan of Libra through to the second decan of Scorpio. So the Knight of Cups has a lot of Scorpio to him, and in this sense he is connected to the Death card. And what I want to say, John, is that I think that this dilemma that you're facing is quite a major, what's the word? It's quite a major test, and I think it could be quite a transformative experience, and it kind of does require you to really think this through, find some sort of balance, some sort of truth, and then really to grow as a person. And it might feel like a little bit of a death. It might feel like a little bit of a betrayal if you say no. But I think what I'm getting is that if we go from here to there, the universe here testing you to your response, I think that seems to be a kind of like a reward for making this difficult decision. I mean, I'm interpreting these cards really in the sense of the necessity of you keeping yourself free of the mud that is attaching to this other speaker. That's what I'm seeing here. These are not cards which are saying, oh, just disregard the whole thing and soldier on. It's really no big deal. I think it is a big deal. I think it's a very difficult situation. But I think that I feel the whole reading is moving in this direction, and I feel we have a successful outcome if you're wise and if you if you refuse to get drawn into this rather murky and muddy and compromising and maybe even shameful situation. You have been watching Robert Farrah's Tea and Tara. I'll be back next week with more of this stuff. So stay well, look after yourself, stay sane if you can. Bye.